sometimes I like to just grab my pack and go hike up a river. One of the cool things about Costa Rica is because it rains so much that there's so many rivers that you couldn't even adventure all of them in a lifetime. And welcome to my special. My name's Atua. You may know me from my YouTube channel where I'm known for my high energy adventures, and my mission in this special is to inspire you, motivate you to do more awesome stuff. But first, let me take you guys back to the school that I grew up at. Let's go! So I just started doing homeschool about a year ago, but before that I used to go to this private school, which is right here. And this is a bilingual school, so that's how I learned to speak Spanish fluently. This school had kids of tons of different nationalities: Italians, Americans, Canadians, Israelis, tons of different kids of tons of different places, and there was usually only around 50 to 60 kids. So even though I don't go to this school anymore, I still love it and think it's a super awesome school. This is where I learned to speak Spanish fluently, and also I'm still friends with all the friends that I met because of this school. You are super awesome. And this school was super all about kids being outdoors. So for PE or recess, we're always doing things outside, like playing soccer or parkour on these little things that they built, or just tons of different things. And the whole time that I went to the school, every Friday, the whole school would go down to the beach because it's not too far away. So that's what every kid looked forward to the whole week. They're like, oh, I can't wait for Friday. So it was pretty cool. Now that you've seen my school, let me show you one more place which had a big impact on my childhood as well as my outlook on life, and that would be Shaka Surf Camp, which my parents owned and operated for most of my childhood, about 8 to 9 years, and people from all over the world would come to Shaka to stay to either surf or do yoga or just relax and chill out, and I would spend time every night and every day hanging out there. And actually, why don't I just show it to you guys? Let's go! Now we're going to take a look at Shaka Surf Camp. So my parents used to be owners, and they ran Shaka for about 7 to 8 years, and my dad used to do surf lessons. So this is kind of how I came about to be a surfer, but I'm going to give you guys a tour of Shaka right now. So this is the entrance, the main part of Shaka. It is a big rancho, and this is a bunch of different things. It's the lounge where people hang out. There are hammocks. There is the dining table, so this is where everyone eats dinner as well as breakfast, and it's basically just where you can hang out. The kitchen's over there, and it's just a bunch of different things in one spot. Actually, when I was younger, I used to climb around up there on those posts, and I would actually hide snacks and cookies. And if you look over here, I actually used to climb around up there, and I would hide snacks up there as well. The next part of Shaka is 4 cabinas. So there's 4 individual cabinas where people basically will stay, and each one has their own cool little name, like Pavones or Salsa Brava or something cool like that. And that's basically where the guests would stay. So this is what the front side of one of the cabinas looks like. There's a hammock to hang out in or read a book or whatever. There's a nice little bench. You got windows, you got his name, you got your lights. So people from all over the world would come here, and I would be hanging out here all the time, and they would see me sometimes and they'd be I'd be climbing a tree or adventuring around, and they'd be I could do that. And some people, countless people, have actually gone home and chased their passion. They've either quit their job. Some people have actually moved from wherever they lived and moved to Costa Rica, and now they're my neighbors. Yeah, so this was definitely one of the main reasons that I became a surfer, is because my dad would be doing surf lessons or whatnot, and I would be hanging out, listening to stuff and learning all kinds of things. Yeah, growing up at Shaka definitely had a big impact on me, because I would spend loads of time here almost every day meeting new people and talking and interacting, so it definitely was a part of how I am now. And I couldn't show Shaka without including the Shaka Surf Camp dog, Vita. She's been with Shaka since the very beginning. She's a super loyal, super awesome dog. Also, when I was a kid, I didn't have access. Internet didn't even exist here. So I didn't have video games. There's no movie theaters or arcades or internet. So I got internet when I was 8 years old, but until then, I didn't have video games and stuff like that. So I had to find other ways to have fun and do stuff. So if you play video games a lot but you kind of want to stop, then you just have to spend a certain amount of time each day getting outside or just doing something else, and then over time it'll become part of your routine and daily habit. And here is the awesome stash of surfboards. Surf camps have lots of surfboards. There are surfboards all the way from 10-0s to 5-0s, tiny little shortboards. So yeah, that is basically Shaka Surf Camp. It's just a super cool, chill, super relaxed place. It's nice and quiet. There's lots of plants everywhere, and it's just super chill. That actually reminds me of something that really stood out in my mind. So one night when we were at Shaka, we were making pizza for the guests, and one of the ladies staying there for the week, she said she was a psychologist and her job was basically to keep workers in big corporations happy, because happy workers meant better workers. And my dad asked her if, in her opinion, what is the most important thing for someone to be happy? And without even blinking, without even thinking about it, she said that giving and helping others. And that really stood out in my mind. And one of the things that we actually incorporated at Shaka was this nonprofit called OHG, Ocean Healing Group. But they're actually going to be here for the next week, and I'm going to go hang out with them. So I'm going to bring you guys along.
Hey everybody, my name is Frank Bauer. I'm from Aspen, Colorado. I am the co-founder and chairman of the board for Ocean Healing Group. First off, Atua, thanks for coming and doing this, man. You rock. What is OHG? OHG stands for Ocean Healing Group. Ocean Healing Group is a 501c3 nonprofit organization in the U.S. that raises money to send kids with disabilities and kids with spinal cord injuries down here to Costa Rica to enjoy a week of adventuring. We go surfing, we go zip lining, we go quad tours, we go snorkeling, just kind of help break the mold of what these kids can do and what they can't do, and help them realize that some of the disabilities are actually abilities. For the primary caregivers, this is an awesome experience because they provide like 24/7 caretaking for their kids. And so when they come down here, we provide a lot of the primary care, so they get to sit back and relax and actually kind of enjoy a vacation. For some parents, it's some of the first vacations they've had in a very long time. A lot of them have never traveled out of the country. A lot of the kids, it's their first stamp on the passport. So for them to get to come down and relax and enjoy, maybe sit in a hammock or read a book or go for a walk on the beach while we take care of the kids, that's an invaluable experience for them.
For how long have you been coming to OHG?
What do you think, 7 or 8 years?
Cool.
Since you were a little twerp?
This is my 3rd year.
This is my 4th year at OHG.
Wash away my pain. My pop said there'll be days like that when I'm down and I need to bounce back, when I'm feeling like my life's off track. Grab my leash and my board off the rack, yeah. With every ripple in the sea, there's a nice wave. And with every dark night, there's a brighter day. Whenever all I can see is a shade of gray, hop in the ocean and it heals me right away. And right away I'm on point like a pintail. And I just made the drop, I can grab rail. And I feel a weight lifted like a broken scale. And everything lines up like the perfect swell. Comforts my soul.
Facts that most people wouldn't realize about OHG. Fact number 1, we are entirely grassroots, which means that every dollar of every donation we get, 100% of that goes right to the program. It pays for the kids' travel, the food, the lodging while we're down here. As a matter of fact, all the volunteers that you see, the board of directors, even me as the chairman of the board, all of us are volunteers. We all volunteer our time to make this happen.
What's your most favorite part of being a part of OHG?
Mix. Getting to meet new people and we become like a family. Getting people out on the water who possibly thought maybe they wouldn't be able to do something like that.
Just getting to be with the kids out in the water, man. It's awesome.
Definitely the smiles on the kids' faces for sure.
That you get to help the kids and you get to help families that might not get the chance to do some of the things you get to do.
Number 2, this is our 28th JAWS camp. Over 9 years, we've had 28 camps. Close to 3 to 4 families per camp, so we've helped between 75 and 90 families come down and have an amazing experience. And fact number 3, all of our donations are personal donations. We're not aligned with any corporation. We don't get any corporate donations. Everything is given from the private sector. So it's the little people here giving $5 here or $10 there. That makes all the difference. All that little stuff adds up and helps us to have an amazing experience down here and help these kids have a tremendous adventure. What kind of experience does this have towards kids? Kids in wheelchairs grow up thinking there's a lot they can't do because they see friends from school doing stuff that maybe they can't do. And so what we try to do is we try to overcome those hurdles and help them realize that their abilities are way greater than their disabilities. So if they think they can't do something, I mean, let's face it, surfing and wheelchairs, like those roads just don't cross. So when we force those roads to cross, all of a sudden we open up the possibilities of what they can do in their life.
I think it allows them to have the ability to find the things they can do as opposed to things they can't do. It gives the families a sense of relief knowing that their child can travel, they can have a vacation, they can have a full life and experience the things that other kids do.
Now you've seen what we do. If you want to get involved, we'd love your support. You can volunteer with us, get involved, become something awesome. Do more awesome stuff!
Peaceful feeling. Now, the cool blue water wash away my pain. Oh, come wash away my pain.
Did you get some fun waves?
Yeah.
Was it awesome?
Yes. Today's our last day surfing, folks.
I definitely think that giving and helping others is a big part of doing more awesome stuff. Also, I feel like people are always like waiting for that one big vacation to get out and do something, or for their friends, or waiting for a certain amount of money. But I believe doing more awesome stuff isn't just about the big things. Of course, it's super awesome to do the big things, but it's also about the little things which you can do on a day-to-day basis. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna challenge myself to do 5 adventures in one day. It's gonna be a pretty epic, crazy day, so I think I gotta get an early night. See you guys tomorrow. Today the plan is to do 5 adventures in one day. I'm going to start off the day by going for a surf session. I think it's really important to start your day with something physical because I think it makes the rest of your day feel a lot better and like you have more energy. And there's a bit of a swell in town, so whether I get some good waves or not, it's still all good. Let's go get some waves. Alright guys, that's it for the session. There was a little bit more size than there has been. There is a bit of a swell in, but it wasn't too massive. And now we're on to the next adventure. Got some good waves, good start to the day. Done with surfing, off to the tide pools. Now we are at the tide pools. Let's go check it out. The entire tide pool to myself. We're gonna have some fun adventuring it. I just wrapped up the adventure at the tide pools. We got a few hours of daylight left, so we can still squeeze in a few more adventures, and actually saw 2 eels, which were 2 different kinds, which was really cool, and there was no one else here, so it was a really good time. All right, guys, we are out of here. So we are on a roll today. We've already done about 3 adventures, and now I'm going to hike up this big jungle property right next to Cabo Blanco, so it should be pretty fun. This hike is pretty much completely uphill. Look at that. There's something down there shooting water into the air. To what you could call almost like a checkpoint where I could kind of see some of the mountains. Just got out of the jungle, but I'm still nowhere near the tippy top of where I'm going to be going to. Okay guys, so check this plant out. This plant is called Bird of Paradise, and they just spread like wildfire. They just grow so quickly. Whoa guys, check it out. I just found this big bushy tree out full of the lemons which grow all over the place in Costa Rica. There's so many lemons on this tree. I'm probably gonna take some home. Brought a snack. Always good to have snacks. Okay, so check this thing out. This is basically an exploding pod. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but my friend told me this story. He picked one of these up because he thought it looked cool. He put it on his shelf in his house, and then one day it just blew up, so they like explode, releasing little seeds and stuff one day once they dry out. Never would think that this would explode. At the tippy top of where I'm going to hike to. Now watch this, it will blow your mind. Okay, that's it for this adventure. Next adventure which I'm gonna do today is go for a bike ride with my friend Titus. Never forget the snacks. Staying hydrated with coconut.
I would like to run countries in a good shape. resolution, all those facts. Bene, grazie.
Eliminates a quality result.
Hallo.
Periphery.
On to the next adventure. And to wrap up the day, I'm gonna head down to the beach and do a beach cleanup. And what I heard is there's actually a bunch of other people doing a beach cleanup today in the evening. Oh, it's been such an epic day. I am so tired, but gotta finish strong and do a beach cleanup, help clean up the beach, help keep the beach clean. And off we go to clean up the beach. And then I ended up finding actually some money, and it's right next to this log where it looks like people probably sit and watch the beach or the sunset. So doing a beach cleanup, you may not only find garbage, you could also find like stuff like money or who knows what else. Crazy how much garbage there actually is. Like, you see a few little pieces here and there, but then you pick it all up and put it in a bag, and then you realize, man, there was quite a bit of garbage spread out through the beach. So I have just pretty much filled up this bag. It's not a massive bag, but it makes a difference. So there's two ways of looking at doing a beach cleanup. One way, which you could look at it, is, well, there's just so much garbage that me picking up a few pieces isn't gonna make a difference. Or you could look at it like, if I picked up a few pieces and everyone else picked up a few pieces, or you just pick up a few pieces and maybe other people don't, it still makes a difference. Every little bit does make a difference. So that's the way that I look at it. And hopefully this segment of the video with the 5 adventures in one day inspired you to do more adventures and explore and make any situation as awesome as you can make it. There's always going to be a better way to look at a situation than one way. There's always going to be a more positive way that makes it seem more awesome. Now that was a really awesome day. I definitely believe that a really good way to do more awesome stuff is to have almost like little goals or little rules that'll keep you doing more awesome stuff. And the other day I was actually out on an adventure and I had my camera, of course, and I decided to come up with almost like 10 little rules to help you do more awesome stuff. So I came up with 10 rules, which I'm going to call Atua's 10 rules to do more awesome stuff. I already filmed this, but check it out. And what do more awesome stuff means to me is that it's about not waiting for something and taking action. Whether your friends or your family want to come with you or not on an adventure, it shouldn't stop you from getting out there and exploring and doing something awesome. As well as not coming up with stuff like as soon as, or once I get this, or as soon as I'm here, or as soon as I am in this perfect situation. There's always going to be a way to make any situation be more awesome or make it a lot more fun than maybe a different way that you could look at a certain situation. And remember to get excited, whether it's doing something you've already done or something that you love or something that you've never done. Get super excited, because the more excited you get, the more fun you'll tend to have, and the sooner you'll get out to go and do that. Remember that do more awesome stuff is an attitude, so it's something that you'll improve on every day that you're working on it. And also that do more awesome stuff isn't just about the big things. So it's not about those 2 vacations that you'll go on in 1 year or about the one massive adventure. It's about the little things. So little things that you can do every day and always be improving on. And be true to yourself. So do whatever it is that is your passion and whatever it is that you love to do. You don't have to do what people are telling you you're supposed to be doing or what they're telling you you should be doing. Follow your passion. And it's important to remember not to have to rely on other people. I love going on adventures and doing stuff with friends and family, but if they flake out or they don't want to come along, that's not going to stop me from getting out and doing more awesome stuff. And that's how I've been able to do way more adventures and do way more stuff by not having to rely on other people. And remember to stay in shape. I like to use adventures to stay in shape and stay in shape for future adventures. I use stuff like biking or hiking or surfing, but that can really be anything which you love to do that is being active. And when you're in shape, you're basically prepared for future adventures which could come along. And remember that eating healthy goes hand in hand with staying in shape. And of course, a big part of doing more awesome stuff is giving and helping others. So whenever you can incorporate that into something that you're doing, it will always make it much more awesome and much more rewarding. And remember to be prepared in advance. Me, I actually have a variety of a couple different backpacks. Like, whoa! This one right here I have for my longer, crazier adventures, and I have a few other ones, like smaller ones for little adventures. And the great thing about having a backpack already packed for an adventure is when you're heading out, you're always gonna grab it because it's already ready to go. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to go pack a bag. We're gonna go a little more in depth on this in a second, but basically, if you have something ready to go, you're always gonna bring it. Don't forget to really stop and enjoy it and breathe it all in and take it all in. It's one thing to go through this awesome, crazy adventure, but if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? Because when it's all said and done, everything's really just a memory. So remember to really take it in and enjoy it. As they always say, don't forget to stop and smell the roses. In my opinion, most of your time should be spent outside, maybe around 80%, but nothing's wrong with using some technology to have some fun. Like I'm playing Oculus Rift for the first time, which is pretty fun and pretty exciting. So I think I've been hiking up this river for quite a while now, and I think it's about time to turn back. And you're probably wondering what I have inside of this backpack, which I've been lugging around. Let's go find a good spot and I'll show you guys what I carry inside of it. This looks like a good spot to show you guys what I carry in my backpack. From my experience, being a bit prepared can really be a lifesaver if you're out on an adventure or doing something and you need something that's really simple and really easy to carry. So I'm going to show you guys what I carry with me in my backpack pretty much everywhere I go, unless of course I just can't take it at all. So let's get right into it. First thing is a water bottle. A lot of people carry this, but a lot of people don't. If you get thirsty, it's really good to have some way to stay hydrated. You could always have water or Powerade or Gatorade or any type of thing like that. Next thing, which I never ever forget, that is snacks. Sometimes I'll carry some chips, maybe some trail mix. Really depends. I like to carry some fruit. Right here I got an apple, as well as some of these rambutan, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called, or mamonchinos. So many times I'm out on an adventure and then my stomach's like, I'm starving, and instead of having to cut the adventure short, I just reach in my backpack, grab out a snack, and I can keep adventuring. Next thing which I've got is some camera gear. I like to carry usually a GoPro as well as extra batteries and chargers and a little waterproof case. And the reason I carry camera gear is because if I know that there might be a spot up ahead on my adventure that I might be able to get a really cool video, a really cool picture, I'm much more like, oh, I want to go over there and get the shot. And I also carry a phone which kind of goes in the cameras, so if I find an Instabanger I can take a picture of. And also in an emergency, I can always call for help, just in case. And of course, I always take my trusty little G7X because this is usually what I vlog with, and I can also take pictures in case I come across a really cool spot to get a really cool shot. Next up is a water filter. This one is a Sawyer water filter. You can have any type of water filter, water purification tablets or whatever. But a couple times me and my friends are out on an adventure and then we realize we don't have any water left in our containers, but maybe we're out adventuring along a river and able to filter up some water and keep adventuring and not have to turn back and cut the adventure short. So it's definitely been able to adventure much further just by having something this simple. And of course, some cordage. This in particular is some paracord. It's not a massive amount, but it's enough so that if I had to, I could build a shelter. And I mean, rope just has so many uses. If you need to tie something together or hang something from a tree or maybe fasten something down, it's really useful stuff. Next up, I have this little multi-tool survival blade. This is just a Swiss Army knife, but it has a little blade as well as some other little like screwdrivers and stuff. And this comes in handy if maybe I have some fruit which I want to cut up, or maybe I find wild edibles that I want to cut up. Very handy. This right here, this is basically a first aid kit / survival kit. So in here I have ways to start fire, as well as like extra batteries, first aid stuff, and all kinds of stuff in this nice waterproof container. It's really nice when I have all the things in one spot in a waterproof container because I don't have to worry about it getting wet. If I maybe slip and fall into the river, my first aid kit stuff stays nice and dry. Then I have this thing. This is actually just a waterproof bag, and in here I carry a bandana. Many uses: filter water or get it wet, maybe clean off a cut or bandaged up, use like first aid kit. A little microfiber towel so I can dry my hands off before I use my cameras, and maybe if I go in the water. A little power bank, so with a solar panel, so if my phone or GoPro runs out of battery, I can always charge them back up. Or maybe I get stuck out in the jungle. Very handy. And an extra t-shirt, so if the shirt that I'm wearing gets really sweaty or gets really wet and I feel like changing, then I can always change into another shirt. And right at the bottom of this compartment I have a rain jacket. Most of the time I don't use this, but the times that I do use it, I'm very glad that I had it, because or else my backpack and my cameras would have possibly gotten soaking wet. But this has been a lifesaver. And one last thing are some sunglasses. Protect your eyes, people. Your eyes are very important, and I'll use these sometimes when I'm biking or maybe I'm out on an adventure and I feel like wearing some sunglasses or protecting my eyes. Oh yeah, one last thing which was at the bottom of this compartment, that is a selfie stick, which I can either attach my G7X or my GoPro to. So that is pretty much everything which I carry in my backpack, like everywhere that I go. Of course, if I'm going to be going on a plane, then I can't take a little knife, so that sometimes doesn't come along. And sometimes I'll add stuff to this kit, but this is kind of just like a base, and all the stuff that I carry in here, I've actually used. So it's not like I just carry it and I never ever use it. All of this stuff has been used at some point on one of my adventures. And the way that I look at it is anything is better than nothing, and that's a really good way to look at it. So you don't have to carry all this stuff, but it's better than carrying nothing, and carrying as little as a little Altoids tin with a few little items that could help you is better than nothing. Well, I'd say that just about does it for our adventure. There's one last thing which I'd like to talk about, but I'm gonna head down to the beach. Wait, it's that way. home. There really isn't anywhere like home. So the one last thing that I wanted to talk about, that would be, I would like to thank everyone who has supported me on my YouTube channel or on my campaign or anything that I was doing. Especially to those very first people who commented and supported me when I was just starting my YouTube channel. I remember I had like maybe a couple of videos, I wasn't the best at filmmaking, and I had a couple of subscribers. And I remember the very first comment that I got was from a fellow YouTuber called Prepper Potpourri. So Prepper Potpourri, thank you so much for that very first comment. It really encouraged me to keep making videos. And I know it easily could have gone the other way. I easily could have gotten maybe some haters or some trolls, and they could have commented whatever, maybe something mean, and it probably would have made me not want to keep making YouTube videos. So massive thanks to those very first people who commented and encouraged me to keep making videos. Because or else, I probably wouldn't have made it to where I am right now. I possibly could have just quit right when I started. So I'd like to thank you guys a ton, as well as everyone else who has supported me. And I've actually seen that happen, and I know it does happen with people. They start their YouTube channel and they put up a couple of videos, and then maybe some trolls or haters go on there and just like write something, whatever, just like mean or whatever, and then it can sometimes discourage you to keep making videos. So if there's one thing that I'd like to say to you, to everyone out there, everyone watching this, is that if you're doing something and you know that's your passion and that's what you want to do, and you know you like doing that, don't let anyone, if someone goes on there and hates on you or acts like a troll, just remember that it doesn't matter what other people say about you, as long as you know that you're doing what you want to do. So that's everything I have for you in this special. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this inspires you to get out and keep doing more awesome stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Bang! But nothing's wrong with using some technology to have some fun and if it's some, no, let me redo that.
Hey everybody, my name is Frank Bauer from Aspen, Colorado. I'm the founder and chairman of the board for Ocean Healing Group. So let me do that again. I am the co-chair and co-founder. No, it's not right either. You're right. I'm the co-founder and chairman of the board. Take 3, ready, break.
And this school also had kids.
That was good. I agree.
And remember to stay in shape. I like to stay in Now you've seen my school, let me show you one more place that had a big impact on my childhood and my outlook on life. And that would be Shaka Surf Camp, which my family ran and owned and That actually reminds me of something. One night at That actually reminds me of something that really
Show them the bone. What kind of bone does this look like, guys? We don't know what kind of bone it is. We're hoping it's not a human bone. Where'd you find it?
It was just laying around over there.
Can I see that side?
Here, let's get a close-up.
It's all hollow all the way through.
Maybe somebody knows. Maybe there's like a what is it? Geologist or something? Somebody who knows bone out. Tell us what kind of a bone that is. Spin it around. It looks pretty close to the length of your thigh bone or something.